Cześć.
Cześć wszystkim.
Ale dobra muza.
Jak coś, to ja będę teraz jadła obiad, więc przepraszam za opóźnienie jak coś.
No dobra.
Niestety obiad nie mógł szybciej być zrobiony.
Jest takie...
Bo jakby nie Buś robi obiad, bo ja mam skill issue i akurat nie mogę tego zrobić. W sensie jakbym bardzo chciała, to bym zrobiła, ale ryzyko jest duże.
Zrozumiałe.
Biorąc pod uwagę, że ja się przed chwilą poparzyłem podgrzewając obiad, to rozumiem.
Niesamowite,
Ja
naprawdę.
Trzeba
prawie
uważać.
kawę wylałam, bo kot koczył na krzesło i obalił je dosłownie przede mną.
Ja się wczoraj zaciąłem. Co się dzieje?
Klątwa.
Klątwa, dokładnie. Na wszystkich w tym tygodniu.
Jeszcze nie jem obiadu, więc mogę zacząć. Czy Baszek ktoś coś robi jeszcze?
Dawaj.
A przepraszam, już mam. No ale nie mam.
Możesz zacząć.
Now it's clear there's no longer any reason to doubt.
Huh? What are you saying?
You kept saying those two were dead, but they aren't here. Now we have this letter from Beatrice, where she's been kind enough to confess that she carried the corpses off. It's as simple as that.
What the hell?
Puh.
Ale się wkurzyła.
I've had enough of this
Banger.
farce!
Rosa Sigma.
Czuję, że banger chyba leci. Ach,
Bang, bang.
to też. As Aunt Rosa yelled this, she looked at all of us with a fierce expression.
What do you mean by farce?
I said it in Jessica's child's room. You can't trust anyone but yourself and those whose corpses have been found. And since we can't find the corpses of those two people, we must not accept that they've been killed.
Please wait, Aunt Rosa. What do you mean by that?
Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san aren't dead. They're alive. We're supposed to believe they've been killed, but they are definitely hiding somewhere in this mansion, so they can attack us.
Wow.
How could you know that? Are you saying that Goda-san and the rest are lying?
No,
Rosa-sama.
Delusional.
Goda, no. All of the Ushiromiya family servants. We all swear that nothing of the sort happened.
You all say that those two were killed, but since there's no corpses, we mustn't believe you. There's a chance that you worked out a story beforehand, that you're lying. There's a good way to prove your innocence, isn't there? Find Dr. Hernandez and Kumasawa-san's both bodies. If you can find them, then maybe I will start listening to your story. But until you do, you cannot deny that you are all wolves. You! And you! I bet you were all bought by that witch. That your eyes were blinded by gold. Do you really want money that much? That's right, isn't it? You want to live the easy life for as long as you live. What value could a life like that possibly have?
Rosa-sama, we couldn't have.
Be silent. And Shannon, don't get any closer. To think you would repay a 10-year-long debt of gratitude with betrayal. I could trigger without mercy.
How? How could you? It's too cruel.
Nice Sigma.
Aunt Rosa, that's horrible. A murder occurred in this room, and then the culprit carried the corpses away. All they are doing is honestly reporting what they saw.
Shannon had finally broken down in tears. She had sacrificed 10 years to the Ushiromiya family. She had sacrificed 10 of the most brilliant years of her life. She believed that she built up a friendly relationship with Rosa. And this is what she got in return! You can kill a person without using a knife. O. Chyba David? Czy tam... Jezu, Shannon, to był ten niektóry. A, czekaj.
Nie, no ty
Jezu,
chyba.
kto to czyta?
Chyba ja. I didn't have to be George Aniki to realize... Strasznie dziwnie powiedziane. A może nie? A nie, to chyba jednak Butler czyta.
No mi tak się wydaje.
Chyba, dobra. I didn't have to be George Aniki to realize that Shannon Chen had been stabbed deep in the heart, that she was shedding tears like blood.
Shannon-san, stay back. Rosa-sama, it is true that I, Gouda, have not served for many years, and I understand that I have not earned your trust. However, could you not believe in Shannon-san at least? Could you not believe in Shannon-san at least? She has sacrificed a full 10 years in service to the Ushiromiya family. I am not telling you to believe me. At the very least, can't you believe in Shannon-san?
Even I don't understand anymore. I don't understand! You can search for an answer without suspecting them. Yeah, bit by bit I'm starting to understand. It's because we've been searching for an answer. That's why everything keeps going wrong. We don't need an answer. These are all strange murders committed with bizarre magic by the 19th person, the witch Beatrice, in accordance with some creepy ceremony. Isn't that enough? Everyone doesn't suspect anyone anymore. Shannon-chan and Goda-san were protecting their innocence, half crying. Genji-san quietly put a stop to that.
Enough. What Rosa-sama says is quite sensible. Until we find the corpses, we cannot prove Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's innocence.
That's right. By Rosa-san's argument, If their corpses can be found, then the innocence of those people alone can be proven. But that only counted for the corpses. Even if the survivors searched the mansion and found the corpses in the end, their own innocence would never be proven. They kidnapped Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san, killed them in another place, and locked the closed room with their own master keys. Unless the closed room could be broken by a method other than that one, it would be impossible to prove their innocence. But that couldn't be done! They only have one chance to prove their innocence. And that can only happen if they meet with the culprit, become corpses, and are then reunited with Aunt Rosa. Isn't that strange? They're innocent if they die, but guilty as long as they're alive. Just like a witch trial. Right. The enemy's a witch. So everything's cool. Is that it?
Rosa-sama, we are furniture in service to the Ushiromiya family. Whether you trust us or not is no business of ours. No matter what assessment you give us, we will merely continue to serve until our final hour.
You really are a model servant. I deeply understand why Father trusts you. It really is heartening that I must suspect even you.
Ichi-san stuck his hand into his pocket and pulled out a master key. Then he sat on a nearby table.
I believe I was given this as a sign of the trust placed in me. If that trust has been lost, I think it's only natural that I return it. Zabrakło apostrofes.
That's a good decision. Those master keys are the main reason you've been suspected several times today. It might seem elementary that letting go of those might clear away the suspicion, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
You too.
Genji-san looked at Koda-san and Kumasawa and Shannon-chan. The two of them nodded and set their own master keys on the table. Aunt Rosa laid the two master keys that had come out of the envelope on top. With that, no 5 master keys were gathered in this place. In other words, this was proof that all of the servants' until today had been negated. With even the final honor, they should have been permitted stripped for them.
Daily.
Maria, give me that handbag.
Oh, give it back.
Aunt Rosa snatched Mary's handbag, tossed the master keys in there, and held up one of them for all to see. She was showing us that she now had all the master keys.
Are you satisfied now, Aunt Rosa? Now you have all the master keys. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Jaka zadowolona.
No
super.
nie. Złapała je wszystkie.
Yes, I'm satisfied.
Yes, I'm satisfied.
Masz
Even if I
satysfakcję.
can't trust anyone else, I can at least trust myself.
Hmm.
I mean,
Ale George jest wściekły w ogóle.
słuchać mnie było?
Tak, słychać.
Tak.
Jasne, jasne.
Kurwa, chrząstka z mięsa. Jezu Chryste, Aniel.
O,
Ej,
najgorzej.
Tak, zapłynę wyzbę z tego.
jakie 13 minut pobieranie PDF-a.
I've been able to get a gun and all the master keys for myself. No, I don't have to suspect anyone. You all are happy to. I take it. Now you don't have to be suspected anymore.
O ty szmato!
Ale jazda.
Crazy.
Hi, 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 hi.
At that time, Maria, who alone seemed to be watching this as though it were a show, sneered at her mother. And Rosa surged nervously to that laugh and turned around. Reacted nervously.
Keys don't have anything to do with this. Beatrice can open doors with magic. She doesn't need keys. It doesn't matter who has or doesn't have something like that.
Don't I always tell you to stop laughing like that? What is it, Butterkun? Nie mogę jego morda.
Zaraz kupę zrobi. I had just cut in between the two of them. No, that's not it. I was on my knees and hugging Mari's head. I was crying. Just stop it already, Aunt Rosa. Maria was right.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry for doubting. I'm sorry for not believing. Huh?
Butler.
On przegra właśnie, on przegrywa.
That's all the witch is doing. The witch is doing. All that
Poddał
stuff
się.
about tricks and closed rooms didn't matter. It just that the witch Beatrice actually exists. And
Załamał
she's
się
really a
chłopak.
witch. And because I didn't believe,
O mój Boże.
it's been all so painful and so sad.
Nie spodziewałem się, że tak szybko. Myślałem, że jeszcze na coś wpadnie.
O, ja
You
myślałam...
believe in Beatrice?
Yes, I believe Beatrice exists.
Hell yeah, Maria
Po
wygrała.
prostu, a może to są jakieś szachy 4D i on najpierw mówi tak, wierzę w Beatrice, a potem mówi aha, jednak nie wierzę w Beatrice.
No tak.
Szachmat.
Nie,
Boże.
bo jeżeli on przyzna, że wierzy w Beatrice, no to ona jakby chyba automatycznie wygrywa i nie wiem, co się dzieje w sumie dalej.
Już chyba zjadł wszystkie szachy i już nie wie, co zrobić.
Chyba nie ma odwrotu, jak się powie, że wygrywa Beatrice. Że
Chyba
on
nie.
wierzy.
And she's a witch who uses strange magic.
Butler.
Maria let go of my hand, and she was the one holding my head.
That's enough, Butler. Beatrice existed. You had so much trouble believing, so you couldn't see her. Witches exist. They exist. And will come soon. cokolwiek to znaczy. You believed in Bito, so will surely be invited to the Golden Land. Very soon now. It will happen very soon. So there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. There's no need to be afraid, okay? Stay with me. Hands joined, okay? Let's think about the riddle of the epitaph together. Let's think about Bito's puzzle. Bito has been saying it from the beginning. She hasn't said anything other than let's play and solve this puzzle. Nie wierzę, że Maria nagle jest taka sweet i encourage'uje go. Niesamowite.
Right.
Mów.
Ja
She
myślę,
did.
że Beatrice to jest Jezus. Nie, przepraszam. Beatrice to jest...
No.
Maria jest jak Jezus, a Golden Land to jest jak niebo.
Mhm.
No tak, to robi sens.
No tak, no i Maria jest jakby wierzącą, nie? No i teraz Butler jest jej bratem w wierze, więc głaszcze go jak tylko może, nie?
Maria jest jak
Wow.
Jezus, a Butler to był Judasz.
No, jest ten mem. Jest ten mem. Poczekajcie, ja dam na ogólny. Ja później zagotuję.
Ciekawe.
Daily teraz będzie
To
przez
jest-
pół godziny szukać tego mema.
No
To
cóż,
jest
sobie poczekamy.
Ciekawa interpretacja, tak? Ja jestem Falką.
W wierze w Pytryce. Psiu.
Ja jestem Falką, bo Maria wygrała i Butler uwierzył we wiedźmy.
Nie, Butler to nie Judasz, tylko ten Tomasz, co mówił, nie uwierzę, póki nie zobaczę.
O, dokładnie.
O, widzi, profesjonalista
Bardziej się
Biblia
znasz.
Lore.
No, mówiłam, że powinniśmy Biblię całą przeczytać na rolę, wtedy potem
Powinniśmy.
Umineko i by miało sens.
O,
Jezu, ale to czemu ty masz na imię Tomasz? To jest obraźliwe imię.
Tak
Dobra,
uważasz?
Bo nie uwierzy, dopóki nie zobaczy.
Ja bym była zła, ale dobra.
Według mnie to nic
Była-
negatywnego.
Byłaby zła, jakbyś się nazywała
Rozumiem. A to w
Tomasz.
sobie Tomasz to jak Butler, to samo imię.
no
Ja
Tomasz.
też bym była trochę zła, jakbym się nazywała Tomasz.
No, tym bardziej w twoim przypadku, no.
No.
No
Oj,
faktycznie, to byłoby trochę słabo.
Problematyczne. No dobrze, przepraszam.
No i gdzie jest ten mem, halo?
Nie, bo ja
Teraz
muszę
czekamy.
ugotować. Idźcie sobie, już czytajcie sobie.
Chyba czekamy, ja nie wiem.
Czytaj.
Ach, dobra. Right. She did. Searching for the culprit was just a waste of time. If only we had just believed in the witch. After gently brushing my cheek as my tears crept dripping down, Maria kissed my forehead, as soft as a feather.
O, buziak w czółko i dobranoc.
For just that instant, Maria's smile, which had once seemed creepy to me, looked like that of an angel.
We have returned the master keys, but our loyalty to the Ushiromiya family will not change. From now on, we will not enter the parlor without permission. Rosa-sama, please lock the parlor from the inside.
Daily. Mama szuka nie może.
You truly are an admirable person. When the typhoon passes, if the cries of the seagulls return to the silent again,
Go.
I wonder if we'll be able to trust each other once more.
If you were to grant us your trust once again, there could be no greater pleasure.
I'll see. We'll definitely be able to understand each other when the seagulls cry.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Title mentioned!
Title drop!
Który to już raz?
Tego mi brakowało.
Musi być,
Dawno nie było.
musi być co chapter pod koniec.
Czekaj.
It would probably be best if we left this room as it is until the police come. Rosa-sama, if you would please lock it. We will return to the kitchen. If you need anything, please command us at any time.
Thank you. If you are a wolf, how shamelessly you speak. And if you are a sheep, then I'm sorry for throwing you into the cage of wolves.
Furniture entrusts its fate to the family. If I could regain your trust by giving up this life of mine, I would consider it a great honor.
I hope you all manage to remain safe until the typhoon passes, if such thing is possible. This is all the rhapsody of blowing winds and pouring rain performed by the typhoon. When the performance ends and the curtain closes, we will surely be able to grasp hands together again.
When the seagulls cry. Dziękuję.
Ja też.
Antro.
Dobra, już wystarczy.
Aunt Rosa nodded in response. Genji-san turned on his heels. He left the servant room. Koda-san's face was still streaked with tears, but maybe he'd managed to sort out his feelings as he listened to Genji-san's words. His face had been truly shameful, but had returned to the face of Koda-san we knew well.
I will also be waiting in the kitchen. If you need anything, please command me at any time. If you wish for some warm food, I, Gouda, will have the very best prepared for you. A i nagle im ufa.
No bo jedzonko.
No dobra.
Thank you. I can't wait for your breakfast tomorrow. And the boat will probably come by midday tomorrow. Thanks for everything up till now. Your cooking was my only pleasure on Rokujima.
Wow.
Certainly. I, Gouda, will prepare a supreme breakfast. Please look forward to tomorrow morning.
Supreme.
Thank you. And Shannon-chan, tomorrow morning, let's make up and have some delicious coffee.
Daily. Odgłos zdziwienia.
George-kun?
I'm going with them.
It's alright, George-sama. Please return to the parlor. There are no more master keys. So, if you're with Rosa-sama in the parlor, you won't be threatened by anyone.
You're right. That's how things have sorted themselves out, isn't it? Objectively speaking, I would say you'll be the safest staying with me in the parlor. But I won't force you to stay with us, George-kun. You must stay in place you feel safe. You are already an adult. It's up to you where and with whom you spend the time until morning tomorrow.
Yes, I will decide. With whom I'll spend this night.
Oh! Aniki.
Butler-kun, stay with Aunt Rosa in the parlor. I'm sure you'll be safest there. Everywhere outside the parlor is dangerous in comparison. So I can't leave her in a place like that alone.
It's not like I suspect Shannon and the other servants, or anyone at all. Don't suspect anyone. The inheritance? The cult? That's all nothing. There's no way people are killing each other over things like that.
Yes,
Zdziwiłbyś się jeszcze.
I know better than anyone how pure your heart is, Butlercon. No one will blame you. No one.
Butler nie oglądał True Crime.
True.
Aniki.
On nie widział, jak robotnicy się o piwo zabijają. It's alright. I will protect you, Butler. Nie wiem, czy Maria może wiele zdziałać, ale spoko. If you're with me, even Beatrice won't be able to lay a hand on you. A, bo ona jest magiem, to ona umie. Dobra, nieważne. I may be small, but I'm still a witch. O mój Boże! Zapisuję.
Myślisz,
Sorry. Sorry,
Mocny cytat.
zapisuję. Dotknęło mnie to. Dotknęło mnie to bardzo, wow.
Ej, też słyszycie dziwny dźwięk, jak się odciszam teraz?
Tak, bo masz tego push to talk.
Ale
I
czemu taki
may be
dziwny
small,
dźwięk
but
się
I'm still a witch.
To tak po prostu działa i tyle, nic nie
robi?
poradzę.
Yes, Maria-chan. I'm leaving Butler in your care. All right, Shannon. Let's go.
Yes. Rosa-sama, if you would, excuse me. If you have an order, please call me at any time.
I'm sorry for saying something so cruel just now. I don't expect you to forgive me tomorrow morning. Until tomorrow morning. But when tomorrow morning comes, let me apologize again.
Yes. Thank you very much.
George, Aniki, and Shannon-chan left their servant room together. Now, only Maria, Aunt Rosa and I were left in this disgusting blood-stained room. A ta, racja, ono jest całe zakrwawione. Until Genji-san disappeared, until Goda-san disappeared, until George Aniki disappeared, and Shan-chan disappeared, we stood there, shocked. After their presence and their footstep had completely disappeared, Aunt Rosa giggled, as though she just remembered something pleasant.
You can't trust him for a moment. That damned furniture.
What the hell?
That one sentence made me choke. What? Why are you saying something like that? Uh-oh.
There are 5 master keys in all. Who would believe that? It's obvious that some duplicate keys exist. As if we could trust them just because they pulled keys out of their pockets.
You don't mean that, right? But by sending out those keys, they weren't just letting go of them. Made all our hard work count for nothing, disgracefully trample it, and in the end, you've made them give up their keys. What's with that parting line? They've shown that they're willing to go this far, and you still can't trust them? Too much. That's just too much!
Dlatego Rosa przeżyje, a Butler nie. Wierzę w to.
It's the devil's proof. There are 5 master keys in all. It's impossible to prove something like that. You can't show that there are 5 master keys by placing them here. But you can't prove that no more than 5 exist. Only a demon or a witch could prove something like that, right?
Wiedziałam.
No, nawet nie załapało chyba. Super.
O nie.
Dwa po pół.
O, teraz jest okej. Chociaż przycięło. Stop it already! Stop it already! Please, Beatrice, show yourself right now and tell Aunt Rosa in red that there are only 5 master keys. Please, I'm begging you. This can only be proved by devils, by witch like you. Please, Peter, show yourself here and tell Rosa that those are all the master keys. And that there is no need to suspect anyone anymore.
There are only 5 master keys. There are only 5 master keys. How's that? No matter how often I say it won't reach Rosa's ears. After all, it seems there's still someone who denies that I exist, right? Ushiramiya Battle.
I said that you exist, you definitely exist. So I'm begging you, stop this already. Stop it already! Stop it already! Ah!
Wow.
Words alone are not enough. Show it with your action. Swear it from your heart that you will become my furniture. Can you do it? Take off your clothes, be naked. Then put your hands on the ground and crawl. Clothing is proof of one's humanity. From now on, you will become furniture, so it's only natural that you will lose that right.
Albo mam déjà vu, albo ona już to mówiła wcześniej.
Dokładnie nie.
Mówiła, żeby całować ten, buty.
Wydaje mi się, że mówiła dosłownie te same słowa już wcześniej.
To
Możliwe.
chyba... Mi się wydaje, że nie. Nic takiego nie pamiętam.
No, może
podobnie.
ja
Właśnie
jestem
też nie.
delusional, sorry.
Déjà vu się może zdarzyć. Mi się zdarza ostatnio bardzo często.
Then you make your tongue curl on my shoes. Can you do it? You can do it right. When you do, I will appear and say it in red. I will tell Rosa that there are only 5 master keys.
A co jak Roza nie wie, co to znaczy mówienie na czerwono?
Właśnie ona chyba jej w ogóle nie widzi.
No nie, bo to jest jakby inny metaświat, gdzie oni
Widziała
rozmawiają. Ja
ostatnio
trochę nie
widzenie.
rozumiem tego.
Widziała ostatnio widać, że nie uważam. Oh, but of course, you will never abandon that lordly pride of yours. But you've done well. You've done more than enough. And you're starting to get that tingly feeling, aren't you? For just an instant, you thought maybe licking my shoes wouldn't be so bad, didn't you? And you immediately denied that I felt ashamed, right? Just looking at your expressions feels so just heavenly. That face of yours is so pathetic. So go look in the mirror. You will see how low you are, naked and licking my shoes. Right? Can you see it? Ushiramiya Butler.
No, sobie troszeczkę bardzo się ekscytuję, mam wrażenie.
Bardzo się wczuła.
Co to jest?
No, śmiała się bardzo intensywnie.
To przecież myślałem, że będę musiał mówić to.
Mówiłam, że trochę za bardzo się podekscytowała.
Hmm.
I co się teraz dzieje?
I can't believe it. Are you saying that's the truth?
Yes, we've told you everything as we saw it.
George folded his arms and started mumbling again, and the kitchen was once again wrapped in a long silence.
George-sama, I am fully aware how hard it must be for you to believe all that so suddenly. After all, even though I saw it with my own eyes, I grow less and less sure what it was I actually saw. I'm sure I saw it, and I'm sure I got into a fight too. And yet, I almost feel like it was an illusion. I see. So that's why you couldn't go into the details in front of Aunt Rosa. If you actually told her what you have just told me, you would probably be in even more trouble. Yeah, Genji-san really did handle that one composedly, didn't he? If only I had the power to explain it myself.
George had not actually seen it, and even when pressed to believe, he just couldn't imagine it. It was only natural, because even the people who had actually seen it had given up asking themselves what it was.
Let's rewind the story a bit. Shannon, you said that when you thought Kanon-kun was an imposter, you picked up some spider webs and came back, right? Why did you do that? That's right, I was thinking about that as well. Why spider webs?
I happened to hear it from Kumasama-san once. A long time ago, evil spirits lived on Rokkenjima, and they, feared spiderwebs. And they say there's a legend that people treasured spiderwebs as amulets. And, right at that moment, I think I was also a bit confused.
When it comes to those old stories, Kumasawa was very knowledgeable. Well, spiders are very useful bugs after all. Yes, it wouldn't be at all strange for a belief system like that to come into being.
I'm sure that the Tori shrine was suppressing the power of those evil spirits. And because the spirit mirror was broken, that power came back. That power
Ona nie
must be
może
what
powiedzieć, że po prostu chodzi o Beatrice.
that power must be what allowed Beatrice-sama to revive.
O,
Masz.
If I, weak-hearted as I am, hadn't done such an outrageous thing.
Shannon, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't blame you for it.
nie musi się martwić, bo umrze.
No tak.
Since long ago, Shannon had often suggested that there was some kind of a cold cause for her meeting with George. After listening to her, George had grown to think that she was being a typical girl, associating love with fate, chance, and miracles. He did think that smashing the spirit mirror offered at the Tori shrine was just taking it a bit far, but he laughed it off and forgiven her, thinking of it as just a prank that showed how serious she was about her relationship with him. Just breaking a mirror in some musty shrine wouldn't have changed the fate of our meeting, as it would never cause any curse. He tried to cheer her up, saying it was only a musty mirror covered in dust.
Ever since I started working on this island, I've heard the story of a spirit called Beatrice-sama from several co-workers. In the beginning, I thought it was ridiculous, but since it would appear indiscreet to say anything out loud, outwardly, I conducted myself as though I also believed it. But could it really?
She existed. Beatrice-sama was in this mansion all along. But she lost her powers and wasn't able to appear before us. She did exist all this time. It's just that we couldn't see her.
I would like to hear Genji's-san opinion. I have no opinion. All I want to say is that at that time there were 5 of us in this room. Then I thought that Kanon had returned through the back door. After that we carried him to the servant room. Something happened and now Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa will never come back to us. That is all. We have already explained everything we saw. I understand how unreasonable it would be to try and force belief from one who didn't witness those events, such as yourself. How could he believe it? I was sure it was Kanon-san. But it got up from the bed. And that's right. When it started to grope about that wound in its chest in that manner, I felt sure that it wasn't Kanon-san, but something else. I doubt you'll be able to understand, George-sama. The terror of that moment when the person I thought I knew well exposed that it was in fact someone else entirely. I can't explain. I can't explain it at all. I understand. I can tell that whatever happened, it was terrifying enough to give you such a shock. Thank you very much, George-sama.
And they all fell silent again. Shannon kept crying no matter how many times she was consoled, thinking that listening to the witch's sweet whispers and breaking the spirit mirror on that day had been the mistake that ruined everything.
The witch who whispered these things to you loses her powers if that mirror exists, right?
Oh, it's not so.
I think she explained it to me a little, but I don't really remember. I think she said something about how she couldn't release her power as long as that mirror existed.
What happened to this mirror that you broke?
I don't remember. I left it behind when I broke it. So it's probably just how I left it.
So when, as they say, the reef was struck by lightning and disappeared, it must have sank to the bottom of the ocean. Well, I doubt picking it up and taping it together would make it start working again. Ha 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 ha.
What have I done?
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
He didn't know if Shannon breaking the mirror really had started all this off. Though the servants didn't blame Shannon, they all seemed to believe that her actions had been the root cause. But even now, George wasn't able to go that far. All this about witches and evil spirits just somehow fake to him, even though he was trying to be open-minded. Even so...
Choćby George przejmował pałeczkę Butlera.
Even so, he listened seriously to Shannon's story, trying to find a hint that might relieve at least a little of the pain in her heart.
Come to think of it, though it's surely different from the one in the Tori, I have heard that Madame keeps a spirit mirror as a charm. Really? Aunt Natsuhi? Yes, I believe she received it as a memento from her grandfather or something, and that it functioned as a powerful ward against magic. A spirit mirror of high pedigree, I think. I've also heard the same story. Something about the mirror having the power to reflect that which is not good and send it back. If we had that spirit mirror, could we resist Beatrice since she's a witch?
Huh?
When George proposed this, the servants looked up.
The shrine and the torii where it was kept are gone now, but the important thing is that there's still another spirit mirror. I have heard that Aunt Natsuhi's family is descended from Shinto priests. Maybe that isn't just a simple mirror. I'm sure I've heard Madame say she keeps it in a treasure box. It might not be very large.
I don't think its size is a problem. Even the mirror I broke was just a small, insignificant looking thing.
If our opponent is occult, then we'll have to use the occult to fight back. Sitting around here won't solve anything. It's worth trying, if only for some peace of mind.
Of course, this didn't mean George had accepted the witch. However, he thought it'd be necessary to have some kind of purification ceremony to heal the wounds in Shannon's heart. So, the story about Atsuhi's spirit mirror was really convenient.
Let's go. I won't say anything crazy like, let's go get it and finish off the witch. However, I think it would be useful to have some sort of charm that can protect us from her. Maria-chan told me about it earlier, but the doctor to grandfather's room was supposed to be able to repel magic, right? Czekaj, co ja przeczytałem? Maria-chan told me about it earlier, but the door to grandfather's room was supposed to be able to repel magic, right? That's our grandfather for you. It means he was pretty good on defense when it comes to the occult. Let's go to Aunt Natsuhi's room. But I think Madame's room is locked. We returned the master keys to Rosa-sama, and even the key box in the servant room is now locked away. In that case, Aunt Natsuhi should have had a key on her person. Aunt Natsuhi's corpse should still be in the chapel. We probably shouldn't be disturbing it before the police come, but we can give a full explanation later. However, the entrance to the chapel is also locked. Gouda-san, can't you break a single glass window with your physical strength? You could smash it with a nearby rock.
Would it, really be okay to break the window for that important chapel?
When grandfather gets mad at us, I will take responsibility. From the beginning, I've been ready to fight the whole Ushiromiya family today. I've got to get them to accept my engagement to you. So I've been prepared from the start. Let's break the glass. Then let's borrow the key from Aunt Natsuhi's corpse.
George's announcement that he'd take responsibility seemed to have given the servants a great deal of courage. Shannon and Goda looked at each other, then looked at George's face again.
Grandfather knows everything about the occult. I'm sure he'll understand if it's the power of Aunt Natsuhi's spirit mirror we're talking about. Don't worry, he won't get mad at you.
I wonder if Madame's mirror will really be able to seal Beatrice-sama once again.
I don't know, but I think it's worth trying. So let's go. It's getting darker and darker outside. Quickly. Shannon, get a flashlight. Goda-san, find something that looks like it can break the glass. Sorry Genji, but can you be on umbrella duty? Yes, sir.
The servants, who had been rejected by Rosa, gained a new master and started to move. George, who was normally calm and gentle, was now radiating dignity. Shannon checked the emergency flashlight, just in case. She changed the batteries. Goda was studying several heavy-looking cooking tools. Normally, a highly praised chef like him wouldn't want to use them for something other than their intended purpose. But now, he was striving to fulfill the orders of the one he accepted as his master. After some worrying, he took a large, thick-filling frying pan. Genji removed several umbrellas from the umbrella stand set in the corner near the kitchen door. He took 3 of them.
Genji-san, I cannot go with you. It would be embarrassing for me as the head servant of the Ushiromiya family if you were all gone when an order is given. But Genji-san, even you must understand how dangerous it is to be alone in this mansion now. I cannot go. I must remain here so that the master can call for me at any time.
Genji-sama.
Go and obey George-sama. Be careful not to make any blunders. Goda, I am counting on you to set an example. Yes, leave it to me.
I will surely fulfill my duty.
You're sure about this, right, Genji-san? Yes, I am already at this age. All the days of my life until now have been spent repaying the debt I owe to the master. The roulette will decide the fate of a senile old man like myself. I will sit here and see what the result will be with my own eyes.
As Genji said that, he sat down. As though saying that he didn't intend to discuss this anymore, his face glowed to the chessboard that he'd played Nanja on. When George saw this, he decided to Genji leave there.
Let's go, everyone. It looks like the wind has died down a bit for now.
When George took an umbrella and dashed down the hallway, Shannon and Goda chased after him, each holding a tool. After they flew out of the room, Genji quietly stretched his hand out to the side of the chessboard. He softly pulled something there towards himself, covering it with his palm. Genji killed his breathing even more than before. As he did, something flashed gold.
Mój Boże. On zrobił to specjalnie. Wow.
From the instant an ice pail set on the counter, a small gold butterfly appeared, softly and silently. It was almost as though it had seen George and the rest off, and was trying to secretly chase after them. It happened in an instant. The elegant gold butterfly, flapping its wings, was pinned against the wall by the knife Genji threw, just like a butterfly in a bug collection.
O cholera.
Sigma.
No, ma doświadczenie, ewidentnie.
After the gold butterfly beat its wings several times, looking like it was in pain, it accepted the fact that it couldn't break free, became fine gold powder and smoke, and disappeared as though it had melted into water. Genji still gazed down at the chessboard as though nothing had happened. Maybe he would think up a brilliant move very soon. But no matter what move he made, his opponent would not be able to respond for all eternity. Even though he knew that, Genji searched for a brilliant move. It must have been a perfect way to kill time, during the short period before some fate would be given to him. You know what result the roulette would bring about, but that decision would be made very soon. No one could interfere with a tumbling roulette ball. The door to the parlor was not only locked, but blocked with a barricade made of sofas and the like. And because of that, Aunt Rosa seemed to suspect that any suspicious person approaching could break in through the window. Sitting on a one-person sofa, her back to the door, she continued to hold on to her gun. I didn't know what was what anymore. Even though my body and mind were worn out, I played with Maria, as she wanted. Maria had said it. Peters was testing us to see if we could solve the epitaph of the gold, so we had to try and figure out this riddle. In the beginning, I was a little interested and tried to solve it, but I didn't even have a clue where to start in this weird text. I didn't doubt that there was some riddle hidden there. I seriously doubted I'd be able to suddenly leap to an answer. In the middle part of the epitaph, there were lines going from the 1st to the 10th twilight, telling us that to journey to the Cardinal Land. On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the keys as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. It was obvious that this was hinted at the first 6 murders that had already occurred in the chapel, and Jessica and Cannon's murders. If this was being followed, we still had to be prepared for 5 more people to be killed. On the 4th twilight, couch the head and killed. On the 5th twilight, couch the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, couch the stomach and kill. On the 7th twilight, couch the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, couch the leg and kill. Tucker and Kumasawa Bachan's corpses still haven't been found. However, if this follows the pattern under the sacrifice for the 4th and 5th twilight, their children will be found in a pitiful state with their head and chest gouged. So, can we expect that 3 more of us will be gouged in the stomach, knee, and leg and killed? Who will be? I looked around the room, noticing that there were 3 people here, but how should I put it? My emotions seemed paralyzed. Strangely, I didn't feel frightened. As I leaned against the sofa with the top part of my body gazing up at the ceiling, Mary noticed. Apparently, she felt I was slacking off in my riddle solving. She got mad at me for not taking this seriously enough. Hey, Maria.
Ooh.
What was it again? The Peter said she'd do if we solved this? I'm sure the witch wrote in her letter that she'd given up on collecting interest or something abstract like that. I optimistically took that to mean she'd give up on killing the whole family, but was it really written with that meaning? For some reason I couldn't convince myself that solving the riddle would really save me. I feel like maybe, even if we do solve it, we'll just be doing what the culprit wants, and it'll all be a wasted effort.
No, that's not true. If you solve the epitaph, Bito's ceremony will end. So after that, no more people will die.
Really? Isn't that rule just something she made up? Whoever solves this riddle will probably learn the location of Grandfather's hidden gold. Then she'll definitely go after it and...
Ooh, so she won't go after it.
How can you be so sure?
The gold has been Beatrice's from the beginning. She wouldn't go after something that's hers.
Then, and why is Beatrice giving us all these big hints? Not just that, what did she even set up this game-like thing?
Risk is essential for magic. Ona jest gamblerem po prostu.
Chciałem to samo powiedzieć.
Byłam pierwsza.
Risk. I don't really know what you mean.
Gambling butler. For example, in a marathon. Do you think a medal anyone can get by running the whole thing is worth the same as the medal given only to the person who gets first?
Niesamowite, gambling to magia.
Let's go gambling.
No, I don't. So what does this mean? In the end, she's just playing with us? Purposefully giving us a chance?
Wrong! That's how magic works. No matter how great a work of magic is, it will always have risks and weak points. No, it must have them.
I don't get this stuff you call magic. But if I think about it as a gamble, I can understand a little. If you aren't prepared to lose big, then you can't win big. And the slimmer the chances of winning, the bigger the payoff.
Lebek, w ogóle mało cię słyszę bardzo. Mam wrażenie.
Ojeju, czekaj. Atak?
O Jezu, to już za głośno.
Atak.
Trochę dalej.
Teraz.
O, git.
No,
Nie no, sobie ją ścisz.
To jest bardzo trudne, jak daleko powinien być mikrofon od buzi. That's right, and Bito really did explain the risk of the ceremony to everyone. So if this riddle is solved, the ceremony will be suspended. After all, if she breaks her promises, there wouldn't be any risk.
If we solve this, will she really keep her promise?
Why are flowers beautiful even though they with their... Nie wiem, co to jest za słowo?
Więdną.
No, no.
Okej, ale nieważne. Why is it that an artificial flower isn't beautiful, no matter how elaborate it is, even when you can't tell the difference by looking? Humans can bring about miracles by gambling on their deaths.
Maria jest fanatyczką rosyjskiej ruletki.
Based gambling. If an undying human existed, they'd have no way of bringing about a miracle. That goes for us, life, the wish, and the ceremony too. If we don't bear a risk, we can't succeed in anything.
What do we do if we solve the riddle? Should we raise a hand and cry, I got it! Tell the witch our answer and see what she says?
Oh, I don't know about that. But if we solve it, the ceremony will surely end automatically.
You sure know a lot, Maria. Did you learn all of that from Beatrice?
Beatrice jej powiedziała cały swój plan, jak ten główny zły w bajce. Uuu.
So, if you don't bear a risk, nothing can be gained. Is that it? That definitely is the way of the world, but it's sort of in conflict with the chessboard thinking I like so much. At least when making moves in chess, players go for the first move, always trying to avoid risk and hoping for an advantageous turn of events. They don't like to chance. They don't trust to chance like in gambling. That's right, there's no room for gambling in an intellectual game. And yet, this person called Beatrice has created such an outrageous crime, or maybe a ceremony, while purposefully imposing conditions for her own laws and announcing them to us. In chess, you always play your best move. So, by putting yourself in your opponent's position, you can predict their next move. However, we can't be so sure that Beatrice's moves are always the best moves possible. I thought she was probably making us focus on the epitaph to fool us in some way, speaking in riddles. But according to Maria, that alone wasn't possible. She said this was a genuine risk that the witch had taken, and therefore proved that this was a formal ceremony for magic. I can't understand this witch called Beatrice. If she's committing this chain of murders with some goal in mind, why did she go to all the trouble of exposing the conditions for her defeat? No matter how I spin the chessboard around and think from my opponent's perspective, I can't understand why she'd give up if this riddle is solved. It isn't almost as though Beatrice doesn't care whether she wins or loses? Of course, Chessbone's reasoning won't work against an opponent like that. I don't understand. I don't understand. What is Beatrice after that's making her carry out this crime? If she just wanted to massacre us all, she could have done it quietly, without this whole crazy setup. There's no need for that kind-hearted advance notice, all this self-aware closed room stuff, or any of the rest. It's all overacting. I've got no clue what it means. Will I be unable to understand everything, as long as I keep thinking of Beatrice as a greedy human culprit? If I don't accept her as a witch, will my chessboard thinking be stuck before I've even lined up the pieces? If she really is a witch, and everything Maria said is true, then there's only one thing for us to do. The fury building and discord and searching for the culprit has all been pointless.
Discord was pointless.
We should have all gathered in the dining hall, combining our knowledge to solve the riddle. By combining the knowledge of that many people, we might have been able to grasp at least a thread of the answer. The greedy humans, each desiring to gain something over their opponents, were getting offered up as sacrifices one by one, without gathering their knowledge together. In the end, the humans get what they deserved. They thought they were using their brains, but they were actually thinking not only of their greedy selves. In the end, chessboard theory is a thinking technique where you project yourself on your opponent. So greedy people see their greedy selves inside their opponents. I looked lazily at Aunt Rosa. She was probably tired from being under all this tension the whole time. She couldn't sleep, but she kept staring vaguely at some point off in space. Aunt Rosa had announced that we couldn't trust anyone who hadn't been killed. Aunt Rosa's chessboard thinking saw herself inside her opponent. In other words, maybe Aunt Rosa was an isolated woman, unable to trust anyone and unable to let her guard down. Long ago, I think I heard a bit about it from my dad. Aunt Rosa originally was a very obedient child. But her age was too far separated from the other siblings, and they often made conflicting demands of her during their confrontations. Thanks to this, she'd undergone a lot of psychologically harsh experiences in her youth. Often, when she copied one of her siblings, other siblings would give her a hard time. True, Aunt Rosa said many things today that could be taken as abusive. But that means those words were once showered upon her, which is why they were engraved in her vocabulary. The many abusive words that she'd spoken were also words that she'd showered with in the past. Now that I think about it, I have the feeling that her style of speech sometimes has traces of Uncle Kraus or Aunt Eva in it. I understood it as them being similar because they were siblings, but maybe it wasn't just that. For the first time, I truly sympathized with Aunt Rosa, whom I'd always assumed was just quiet and gentle. Then what about Maria? Maria's been making a certain claim for a while now. If we can solve this riddle, the witch displayed to us, this ceremony will be halted and will definitely be saved. And I think she also said that Beatrice will never break a promise. But this is Maria we're talking about. She herself never breaks promises, and she has the most innocent heart. So she believes Beatrice also won't break her promises. Be able to believe that. But it isn't just an image of Beatrice in Mari's mind. There's no proof that the real Beatrice will always keep her promises, right?
Bro, musiała to na czerwono powiedzieć.
I keep my promises. If you solve the riddle of the epitaph, you should be able to reach the Golden Land. When you do, the ceremony will end. No more people will die.
Ją tak to bardzo zabolało, że musiała aż powiedzieć, że ona dotrzymuje obietnic. To jest niesamowite.
So you're saying a complete monster like you follows the rules?
She's lawful evil.
True?
Hmm?
Daily.
I won't deny that I'm a brutal and unjust and a monster. However, I am a witch. I use magic. In order to use magic, there are some rules that must be followed. Because I am a witch, I cannot neglect those. You should believe at least that much.
So even after all the crazy stuff you've done, you're still telling me to believe at least in the rules?
I do play tricks. Of course, I also deceive people. I am no different from humans in that regard. But not once I have disregarded a promise I've spoken. What about humans? Do you always keep your promises?
Since we have catchphrases like keep your promises, it's hard to imagine that we always follow them properly.
From my perspective, humans are truly selfish monsters. There's nothing as obvious as a human's promise. Even I sometimes make contacts with humans. contracts with humans, but you wouldn't imagine how strict an agreement must be made to just grant a single foolish wish. If there is even a small loophole, it will immediately say something like, increase the number of wishes to 100, or go turn yourself into a bean.
There's this thing that always says. He says there's nothing as scary as contracts. According to him, it's only natural that people who sign without reading them thoroughly will get chewed out to the bone. It's made a killing through vice.
I imagine it. When people are born, they know nothing of fraud. They get it from somewhere. And so they learn it. Yes, the crimes of the human world, where people must press up against each other. Let me see. I've heard that from a witch somewhere. Oh well, I am not as heartless as you think, you see.
Liar! You killed so many people! And you did it in such horrible ways too. How could you not be heartless? You say you keep your promises? Don't say stuff like that. I won't accept you. Ever. I believe my only way to resist you is never giving up on that.
I see. So you're saying this eternal torture will be the same for me. Perhaps 1,000 years is a long time. Maybe a witch through strength is decided not by their magical power, but by the strength of their endurance. Yes, I can accept how terrifying Lady Byrne is.
Damn you babbling on and on about this incomprehensible stuff. Let's quickly get back to this eternal torture. I'm prepared to stick around for 1,000 years or even 10,000 years.
Good, good. It looks like you've regained some of your will to fight. It would be boring otherwise.
Zrobi wszystko, żeby nie rozwiązywać tego rebusu.
Maybe. Come on, don't you often see it in competitive games? Sometimes one player intrudes on their opponent's territory, but the opponent is so weak that it's a bit of an anticlimax, so the first player loses on purpose to extend the game until the last round, during which they get serious and shower their opponent with blows, right?
I don't get what that means.
It's the same as wine. If you don't let it age well, it won't sparkle.
Ewidentnie słyszała o winie arbuzowym.
True.
You're the same as that wine. I will carefully make you age. I will raise you to be the best alcohol to adorn my elegant time.
Brawo.
To... Ciekawe.
Fermentacja Butlera.
Ciekawe.
Hell yeah. Powinienem tego spróbować w następne wakacje, tylko skąd ja Butlera wyczasnę?
So don't give up. After only this match. Keep on denying me. After all, as long as you don't accept me, I am nothing more than a fleeting illusion.
Dziękujemy, to było dobre.
Akurat. Tyle ile było.
Pozdrawiam.
Przerwa 10 minut?
Okej.
Można.
No dobra.
Halo?
O, faktycznie, zaraz 10 minut.
No, ja już jestem. Ale jem kotleta.
O, smacznego.
Dziękuję.
Ja mam pomarańczkę.
O, też fajnie. Smacznego.
Magnum opium.
Tak, Magnum Opium.
Halo?
No halo.
Przepraszam.
Chlebka dalej nie ma, tak.
A,
Jestem,
i...
O.
jestem cały
Wow.
czas. Ja po prostu w formie pisemnej się komunikowałam.
Aha. No dobra, no to możemy zaczynać. No matter how many times I see it, it's awful. I truly sympathize. Shannon-san, please get the key. Even though she is dead, Madame is a lady. I cannot touch her.
Niektóre?
Oj, o, niektórego też nie ma.
Of course.
Shannon nodded sharply, her expression filled with a sense of duty. George, Goda, and Shannon had broken a suitable window and were inside the chapel. Since they really hadn't wanted to break one, they'd searched for another way in, just in case. But in the end, after proving once again that there was nowhere they could slip in through, it only became more obvious that this chapel was a mysterious closed room. Inside the chapel, the time stopped ever since the last time they'd left it. Even George wasn't able to approach that gruesome Halloween party again. It was only natural. It reminded him again of the sadness of losing both parents at once. And Goda, thinking of the possibility that those corpses might have changed in some horrible way now that half a day had passed, and didn't want to let George get near them. Shannon followed Goda's instructions and approached the party table. Normally, Shannon might have resented having another dirty job forced on her, but now she could truly understand Goda's mental state. Even though Goda had prodigious skill, he got dragged into trouble losing his job and ending up left out in the streets. Before Natsuki gave him a new life. Though it had been just a casual employment decision for Natsuki, Goda must have thought it was a turning point in his fate. Those around Goda could see that he felt a special kind of loyalty to Natsuki, so he probably didn't want to lose that feeling, even after her death. Now that half a day had passed, the bodies of Natsuki and the rest had changed completely. Small bugs snuffing out the smell of death had started to gather. It really wasn't something you'd want to look at directly.
Madam, excuse me.
Because of her long experience as a servant, Shannon had an idea of which pocket Natsuki kept the key to her room, and it would probably this pocket. Her guess didn't fail her. Just by touching the outside of the pocket, she was seemingly able to feel it.
It's here. The key to Madam's room.
Shannon held the key up high, showing the others that it had been found.
Jaka zadowolona.
As George and Goda watched her, their eyes opened wide. That wasn't the expression Shannon was expecting, so it startled her. After all, Shannon hadn't noticed. Oh, George and Goda, watching from afar, noticed it first. After all, when Shannon had held the key up high, a blizzard of gold leaf had swept up from around the table. They were countless gold butterflies. It was the first time George had seen them, so it might have looked like some kind of illusion. But Goda already knew. He knew that those gold butterflies were far from beautiful, and that they would bring about some kind of misfortune. And that Gold's well trying to suck Shannon in.
Shannon-san! Run!
Huh? Yeah!
Shannon also realized that gold butterflies were trying to swallow her up. She ran on Sally, her expression still shocked. He did, the gold butterflies danced around her all at once. They grouped together. They tried to swallow her up!
Motylki ją zjedzą.
Shannon! Damn it! What is it? Are these the gold butterflies you guys were talking about? Outside, quickly! You bastards! Damn it! Damn it!
Goda rushed up to Shannon riding off the cloud of butterflies, and while the butterflies were scattered, they ran towards the Blanc window. However, they needed a good footing to get out the window, which was surrounded by shards of broken glass. When they'd entered, there had been enough time to prepare for that, but now there was none.
Let's go out through the door. There's no time to look for a footing.
It won't open! It's stuck!
Give it to me. Damn this ancient piece of crap. George Sama,
Nigga.
quickly. Damn it, don't take me lightly. Woo!
Ooh.
Woo!
Goda took off his jacket, swinging it around and scattering the group of butterflies, but saying he was a number would be a real understatement. It was doubtful that he even brought them in a short amount of time. O Jezu, niech przeskoczą po prostu. George struggled with the broken handle. It shaped short, but it didn't turn well. You can't leave it to strength. It needs the right angle, or there's some strength to wick it.
George Sama. Damn it. You monsters.
At that moment, Goda saw it. She was seen by it. In other words, their eyes met. On top of the party table, now with the stained glass behind it, floating, laughing, was the figure of the witch. You saw the figure of the laughing witch in the center of the golden whirlwind, and with the gold butterflies fluttering about at the ready.
Beatrice.
It should have been Goda's first meeting with her, but he knew her at a glance. Just like the other servants had said, this was certainly the witch of the portal herself.
It's almost time for dinner, is it not? I am the host of this mansion now, so I must give you a warm reception before your wonderful dinner. And look, we even have 3 people fit to order. My, how truly convenient.
Wow. It's open.
Goda-san, quickly! Beatrice-sama!
Huh?
Are you sure it's a good idea? Oh fuck, znowu boli, sekunda. Are you sure it's a good idea to just stand there? If you think this place will make a fitting cemetery for yourselves, then be my guest. I mispraise your spirit for wanting to stay by your former masters. Sides and serve them even after death.
The golden whirlwind that wrapped around the witch burst. It was like an evil hand that literally spread its fingers and was trying to attack them. The cloud of gold butterflies attacked with a fluttering sound.
Hurry! We can't stay here.
George's voice brought Shannon and Goda back to her senses. Standing here now would make them like frogs getting stared down by a snake. They had to resist. They had to fight this incarnation of the new, brutal and frightening order in which Rokkenshima had been enveloped. There was no time to take out their umbrellas. The three of them dashed out into the pouring rain. Three of them never realized because they didn't turn around. The gold butterflies apparently couldn't handle the rain too well, and this hampered their ability to chase after the humans. The three people ran from their golden pursuers and flew into the mansion.
Nice. How nice. It wouldn't be as fun any other way.
They unlocked the door and dashed into the room. The scent from Natsuki's favorite gentle incense remained in there. However, there was no time left to calm them now. To let that calm them now.
Jezu, co to za kawałek muzyczny? Podoba mi się.
World and Dominator.
Fajny.
No.
Where is it? You said it was in a treasure box, right? It's just a story I heard. I never heard exactly where it was.
I think it'll probably be in the... I think it'll probably in her dresser or next to the bed.
Shannon's womanly sensibilities led her to conclude that, but next to the bed there was only an incense burner, a half-read novel, and glasses. However, the dresses was elegant and had many drawers, and would be understandable if she'd kept some of her valuables there.
Aunt Natsuhi, sorry.
He began to violently open each one of the drawers. He had to hurry. He couldn't actually hear footsteps, but he had the feeling that the witch was approaching. He had the feeling that her laugh was approaching. He emptied the drawers one by one and examined the contents. Every small box for makeup looked like a treasure box, and the amount of effort it would take to inspect all of them made him feel a little dizzy.
Maybe it's this box. It's locked and I can't open it.
At glance, it looked slightly larger than a music box when shaken and rustled as though very small objects were inside. But it was locked and didn't open.
Normally you'd hide the key somewhere nearby. Though some people would always carry it on. Though some people would always carry it on their person. I don't know.
There's no choice. Break it. But we can't do it with force, right? We might break the mirror inside. Could there be a tool to pry it open? Damn it.
Koda looked all over the room trying to see if there was some tool that they could use, and he noticed the door which had been left open ever since they'd entered. He approached the door to close it and see the abdominal shadows of people approaching from beyond the darkness in the hall. No, it wasn't the shadows of people, because they weren't human at all.
George-sama, hurry.
Goda's voice trailed off. It was the shock of seeing a procession of those not of this world. He was a servant, so he knew all the servants working for the Ushiromiya family. But he didn't know about these. However, they were definitely servants. And not servants working for Ushiromiya Kins or Ushiromiya Kraus. Big goats.
Kochi!
These new servants, who work for the new master of the mansion, the Golden Witch Beatrice, had goat heads and bright red bold eyes of lava. As the new master laughed loudly and friendly directed 6 of the new servants, she saw them approach, piercing the darkness as they came. No ich jest 6.
Już nie ma czasu na subtelność.
Nie, już jej się znudziło. Of course, she was clad in the gold butterflies that were her symbol.
To znaczy slad. Slad.
Obłożona, jakby.
O, że...
Chyba z tego co pamiętam.
Coś takiego.
No. Goda hurriedly closed the door and locked it. However, just as he locked it, it returned to normal, as though a spring or something had knocked it back.
Beatrice popsuła.
Zepsuła zamek, to już nie wejdą.
Tego słowa się w określeniu do zbroi często używa.
It gave the illusion that some prankster beyond the door was unlocked it every time he locked it. Couldn't have reached the other side of the door yet. And how? It almost felt like playing with a broken toy.
Ten dźwięk jest super.
Mhm.
Boing,
Boing.
big boing.
Boing.
It won't lock. Even if I lock it, it unlocks. What's going on? Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Did you think a lock would stop me? Did you think the door to that room could hold back that room's new master?
It looked like the witch could see Goda's frantic effort through the door. Even now, the footsteps continued to approach. And when not just her footsteps, but even her breath could be heard, Godas gave up on the lock and slammed into the door, locking it using his own large body.
George-sama, quickly, quickly, quickly!
George-sama, what about this?
A letter opener? That's better, let me have it. The fountain pen isn't working.
Jezu, pióra, tak świetnie. Took it and once again dug into the crack under the lid of the trash box. It looks like it's working.
Quickly, quickly! Ah,
Help me.
give it.
On nie odblokował jeszcze super mocy tych służących.
The pressure from across the door grew even stronger. Goda screamed. This wasn't a cry during the test of strength. He was terrified. Wow. He was simply terrified that nothing but a single wooden door was stopping him from touching something not of this world. But he was still lucky. He wasn't touching the things directly, because they were on the other side of the door. So if he were to touch them directly, Goda's cry would surely turn from something brave into a pathetic piercing scream, and therefore one that was more real. Goda couldn't believe what was happening right before his eyes. Próbuje się znów klipować przez drzwi.
Teraz jak w Minecrafcie się stanie bokiem i się wystaje, tak.
O. Going through the door, an arm was slipping straight through the door like it was water, as though doing this was the most natural thing in the world, and it grabbed the back of Goda's hand as he frantically tried to hold the door shut.
Jezu, ja wiem co to jest. Znacie taką grę Touhou Project, tam jest Seiga Kaku i ona ma umiejętność przechodzenia przez ścianę.
tak.
Tak, jak ściągnie tą.
Nie,
Do
nie
włosów.
znam, nie słyszałam jej.
No to teraz wiesz.
Ja cię. It slid up his arm to his chest and then up to his chin. By now, Goda's scream wasn't even audible anymore. He could hear a sweet whispering voice from across the door. It wasn't coming from the witch, but it sounded like a young woman. However, that didn't change the
Zarudzę,
fact that
że Beatrice jest old woman.
yes, old woman.
Trochę
No ma z
jest.
1000 lat.
No to nie jest, ona nie jest stara, 1000 lat to nie jest stara, o co ci chodzi?
Wiecie wieku.
No właśnie. However, that didn't change the fact that came from someone not of this world.
Belzebub?
Dobrze, to czyja kolej teraz?
Ona jeszcze nie była chyba.
Mogę
Mhm.
być nią, jak jeszcze nie była.
Mephistopheles i Asmodeus był, tak?
Mhm.
Okej.
Nie, szatan był.
Tak.
Jeszcze był
szatan.
szatan, jeszcze szatan, jeszcze szatan.
To mogę nie być. Jak
Mhm.
nikt nie. So cute! Hey, you see it, right? Your life flashing before your eyes. Let me know when it's over, okay?
Chłop zamienił się w szczura! O, mysz. Była.
Thanks, it's over already, isn't it?
O,
O,
What the fuck?
no nie, no cóż.
koniec.
O,
Pobite gary.
Dosłownie.
That lewd arm burst. Then they heard the sound of something jumping around the room at an incredible speed. They didn't know what it was. Incredibly fast, small, like steel, or maybe a beetle. When it buried itself right in the center of Goda's chest and stopped, he realized for the first time that its true form was something like a stake with a strange design on it. Goda's large body shook, bent backwards, and fell over. As it did, the door opened softly, even though no one was pushing it, welcoming in the new master of this room. It looked almost as though the door itself had accepted her.
o.
Ooh. The guard attendants came in one after another, 6 of them.
Jest tylko 3 na ekranie, ale chyba się nie zmieścili.
Zabrakło budżetu. The Night Witch came in, and the Cold Butterflies came in.
Mogę zrobić nową miniaturkę, ale to będzie już trochę powtórka.
The room was wrapped in a blizzard of gold leaf, which fell and piled up, turning it more and more into a world of gold. Myślę, że coś pewnie będzie zaraz. Dlaczego? Daddy.
Shannon, the roulette has chosen you and George. Thank me for your day of release. Do you have any regrets? You don't you? Receiving an engagement ring from the man you fell in love for, and then being killed before spending your first night together. That hardly counts as a regret at all, right? You wanted him to hold you, didn't you? You wanted him to teach you a woman's joy, right? No. Shannon, you're a dribbling sea. Your regret is dripping down from your mouth. I can see it dribbling down from your mouth. Shannon!
Crack. It was the sound of the lid to the treasure box breaking open. When George turned it over, accessories, charms, very small objects that Nancy had treasured when she was a girl fell out. Mixed in with that was a pouch that stood out from the rest. He picked it up and was immediately sure. This was it.
I found it. This is it.
For you.
It's so close and yet so far. Die!
Damn it!
All at once, the gold butterflies attacked George, who was hurriedly trying to remove the contents of the pouch. Oh,
Shannon,
Shannon włączyła swoje supermoce.
Co to było?
At that time, a bright red flash seemed to light up the room for an instant. The red flash seemed to cut a hole in the cloud of gold butterflies ranging around the room, drawing a circle with Shannon at the center. So, the resulting scene looked truly divine, almost as though a single streak of light had cut through the clouds in this world of gold. George, who was curled in a ball, trying to protect himself from the group of butterflies, didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yo.
Yo. Then he noticed that Shannon was standing guard in front of him, shielding him, as she glared at the witch and the rest with a serious face she'd never shown him before.
I'd forgotten. You're another sample of Kinsel's standing furniture. And you've matured so much. You've matured so much more than canon.
How could you do that to Canon-kun? I don't mean killing him. How could you erase his remains and even try to disgrace his honor?
Come on. Now, Shannon. Is that why you're mad? If you're lonely because Canon hasn't been around, just let me know. I will let you see him whenever you like.
When the witch snapped her
Alright.
fingers, one of the 6 gold attendants glittered gold and changed into Canon. It was definitely a sight to make one down their eyes. It was definitely Canon's face. Oh, yeah. However, in those eyes, the glint of Canon's integrity was nowhere to be seen. They were the hazy eyes of furniture that only obeyed the orders of the witch. George couldn't understand this scene right before his eyes, and he finally understood why Koda and the rest had been unable to talk about what they'd seen in the servant room.
Are you enjoying this?
Yes, I am. It's always fun to reunite a pair that have been torn
Jezu,
apart by
śmiesznie
death.
wygląda ta Beatrice za tym, tak przy szyle.
After all, I get to enjoy tearing them apart by death.
Wygląda sobie
Reunite.
Shannon jak chomika w klatce.
I chomik w takiej kulce do biegania, to stoi
Tak.
teraz.
Tak.
I widać, że na nią patrzy. Reuniting them and then tearing them apart again.
A propos chomików w klatce, to ostatnio widziałem taki filmik, że gościu połączył taką klatkę z takim jakby habitatem zrobionym w akwarium. No i jego chomik tam sobie wychodził czasem do tego habitatu, ale jak mu się znudziło w habitacie, to wracał do klatki, wchodził do tego koła i w nim biegał przez godzinę, bo tak.
Komiki są bardzo śmieszne.
Najmądrzejszy chomik.
Dosłownie.
So, Kanon, go and play with your sister. If she knocks you out, let's see you suffer with all the anguish you can manage.
From the impostor! Cannon's arm, a strangely shining curve, extended. He planned to tear Shannon apart with that. With a single stroke, he could attack Shannon, who still hadn't prepared her hard, and...
I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. For dishonoring the dead not just once, but twice.
Przesada.
Enough babbling. Go get killed by your brother. Shannon, I'm sure you will bear to witness the wonderful dream.
Okay. The impostor cannon certainly seemed to launch at Shannon, throwing several purple curves. But when he flew at her, it was as though some kind of invisible wall had been placed in front of her. The wall repelled the impostor, leaving a bright red ripple on its surface. No, it didn't repel him, it smashed him. It knocked him back, turning him into golden dust, into little bits, scattering him. Foolish. That foolish furniture, who had taken Cannon's form and even disgraced his honor after death, broke into countless gold butterflies, and then those butterflies themselves broke into pieces, and those pieces were broken into pieces until they were no longer butterflies, but a golden splash that faded away.
Shannon?
Tak w kantamie.
George-san, please don't move from that spot. I don't want to shift the central axis.
Well, this is certainly a surprise. Though through your face, it makes it look as though you wouldn't hurt a fly. You can display such power? I see. So that spirit mirror is lending you that strength. But you don't have the tools on time to draw out its true power. I won't let you have either of those.
The spirit mirror George gripped hard let out a divine glow, displaying a strength powerful enough not to submit the wicked forces. But that glow was no match for the witch's sinister nature.
This is why furniture can be frightening. That feeling like an unexpectedly stubbing your little toe on the corner of a cabinet. Yes, This is why furniture can be frightening. Yeah, furniture, furniture, furniture!
I am not furniture, and right now you seem very pitiful to me.
Uuu. Mocne
What?
słowa.
What did this furniture, who hasn't even lived 100 years, just say the 1,000-year-old witch?
Że jest stara. Stara baba.
You're a very pitiful person. Of course, two people in love will have regrets when they're separated. But they'll feel none of the kind of regret you're hoping for.
You dare to speak, furniture? Have you forgotten the days when you were so desperate to be tied to George that you licked my shoes?
Living with love and crawling through the muck is what humans do. If you sneer and look down on them for that, then you're far inferior to them. Especially now, I pity you. How precious it is for a loving couple when they bring their love to fruition by sleeping together on their first night? It does have meaning, it definitely does, but it's completely different from what you're saying. It means something so sacred that one such as you has no right to speak of. It means something so sacred that one such as you has no right to speak of it wickedly. So I no longer have any regrets. Jorsen and I have sworn our love to each other. As proof, I accepted his ring. With that, our eternal vows were completed. No matter how you torture us with your wicked magic and your malice, you cannot disgrace eternity.
Huh?
Sentymentalnie
Don't
zrobiła.
speak in cheap ideals like some poet. Love is lust, totally meaningless unless you're sleeping together. Men are mere flies and maggots that get drawn to your female scent and crowd around you. Do you still not understand that at your age?
Ona chyba po prostu nie wie, co powiedzieć po tym, co powiedziała Shannon.
You will despair the very first time you witness the dark lust of that glasses man behind you. You'll be crushed, shocked, dumbfounded, stupid feet. And it's all useless, Shannon! Yeah, that's enough talk out of you. You furniture, furniture, furniture. Who the hell do you think you are? Talking like that, no matter how beautiful you try to make love sound, in the end, it's all fraud because love is a filthy filth.
Może ktoś ją po prostu skrzyżył i teraz Beatrice
Tak,
ma taki uraz.
Tak.
Niesamowite.
Don't people become models when they realize that you trash, furniture scrap. I will turn you into a filthy maggot. Then we'll see whether the glasses guy still loves you. I will show you that this guy's only had his eyes on your flesh. Hi, you piece of crap! Don't you tell me about love!
The invisible column of light with Shannon at the center started to have bright red ripples, thrown all over it once.
Nieźle.
Brawo.
Freudowskie przejęzyczenie.
No,
Dokładnie.
dosłownie.
The wall did its best to withstand the unseeable malice that tried to crowd in on them from all directions.
Wybacz.
Jezu, ile ona się śmieje.
What, do you actually think you're resisting? You're insignificant. You are frail. Just like your cheap ideals. Just frail pretense. You're just hiding what you don't want to see by covering it with a veil. That you know, do you still not understand? That's why you're furniture. You furniture. See, it's being erased. Snap. How thin, how shameful. Parmigiano Reggiano would be harder to cut through than your friend resistance.
Co to jest Parmigiano Reggiano?
Ser.
Ser.
Parmigiano
okej.
Reggiano. No.
Nie wiedziałam.
No to teraz wiesz.
The more you know.
The golden windstorm that covered the room gradually began to shave the walls of the column that protected Shannon and George. Them. The bright red ripples frantically drew a resisting pattern, but that just turned it into a red wall of despair that began to wrap the two of them up.
George-san, I'm sorry. It was too much for me. After all.
Yeah, thank you. You fought for my sake. That alone makes me happy.
I umrą razem.
How sweet.
The round wall that had once protected them was assaulted and covered with a curve of red ripples as it seemed to scream, and began to suck the two of them up instead. O, super, epilepsja.
Genialnie.
George-san, can I ask a favor?
Shannon grasped George's hand behind her, so George hugged her shoulders just as strongly.
What is it?
In the end, please let me hear you say, I love you.
Yeah. Sayo, I will forever. No i nie powiedział. ale
Oh
mało.
well. No cóż.
Beatrice zrobiła to specjalnie.
Mhm.
Możemy w tym miejscu zrobić pauzę. Ja bym kończył już na dziś, jeszcze mam coś do zrobienia.
O,
Także,
Możemy.
no to
Możemy.
fajnie.
mam nadzieję, że chyba następnym razem skończymy. Chyba powinniśmy.
Jeżeli dynamika się utrzyma, to...
52 godziny.
Jest dobrze.